We are live. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Cam and Focus Weekly. I am Cam, and with me, I'm looking at myself now. I'm like, oh my god, I need to shave.
I know. See, I was saying the same thing. I was like, oh gosh.
Yeah. I mean, you could use my face to like sharpen a blade. It's like sandpaper. This thing is just so gnarly. But with me tonight, as he normally is Mr. Andrew. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing just fine. I understand that you're kind of in a similar area to where all that flooding happened down there in Texas. You know,
Yeah,
obviously
that was in Kerrville. Yeah, it
yeah,
was awful.
and you know, our thoughts go out to the families that have been so drastically affected by just such a terrible tragedy. I believe there are several children still unaccounted for. It's
Last I
very,
heard,
very
it was
sad situation.
20 something, I believe.
Yeah,
Just
and
awful.
that's rough. But also with us tonight, as I was just able to let him in, Mr. Justin, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Oh, doing good, doing good. Well, I was just talking about how you know y'all are kind of in the danger zone there with all that flooding. How are things where you're at?
Oh, I'm staying dry for the most part,
Oh, that's
so
good.
so that's
Yeah.
good.
Is it one of those post-apocalyptic situations where you have like sandbags piled up against your door?
Yeah, I
Oh.
got the gray button-down shirt. You know.
All right. Well, this week we are discussing the work of David Fincher, not David Lynch, as I made that mistake last week. I feel monolithically embarrassed by that, but David Fincher is really a director's director. His work is iconic. And Mr. Justin, I understand that David Fincher is one of, if not your favorite director. What would you say is the first film that you think of when you think of his work?
Probably Seven and Fight Club. Those
Mhm.
are two of his like most classic films. But I know The Social Network's also like one of his most popular films.
Yeah. Well, was Seven your first David Fincher film? Was that the first one you saw?
The first one I actually saw was Fight Club. I do like Seven a little bit more, but Fight Club was the first one I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And when had you seen it? Was it one that you watched as a kid, or?
Yeah, I watched it as a high schooler, so.
Gotcha.
No, he was
Gotcha.
7 when he was watching Fight Club, you know.
Now, yeah, he was 7 when he saw Fight Club, and then he thought to himself, "Wait a minute,
There's
this
a movie.
There's other movies named after the age that I am now.
Yeah,
Let's give that a shot."
Yeah, right.
very family-friendly movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You were 7 years old. You come out of watching Seven. Your eyes are wide and bloodshot, and you're just like,
I haven't
you're just
slept in 8 years.
Yeah.
But you're only 7.
Yeah, no, I just remember the first time I heard about Seven. I remember one of those kills kind of made me feel uncomfortable the first time I saw it.
What was it? What was it? The lust kill, or was it the sloth
that's
kill?
the one.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's
The one that
that's
freaked me
gnarly.
out. I don't remember which kill it was, but it's the guy that was left on the bed for like a year. and
Yeah,
they
that
thought
was
he
sloth.
Dead. Yeah. And they're like, you got what you deserve. Then he goes like, oh, I was like, okay, what the heck?
Yeah. I remember the first time I watched Seven. I think I was like 12 years old. I was massively not mature enough for that kind of movie, but I watched it because it looked freaky, and I was going through a freaky
There you
phase
go.
at that time. And I remember specifically, I was traumatized by that scene in particular, and I was traumatized to the point where I was afraid to turn off my bedroom light and run to my bed, because I was afraid that once I turn off that light, that guy would be in my bed and I would just jump on him.
Hey, that's valid, honestly.
I mean, that's some gnarly trauma right there.
Well, I have you both beat. My history with Seven goes all the way back to a couple weeks ago when I watched it for the first time. So,
I understand that was the first time you saw that movie.
Mhm.
Coming out of it, what were your thoughts?
well, you know, it was one of those movies where I heard a lot of high praise for it, and you know, sometimes when I hear a lot of high praise for a movie, I end up still liking it, but not as much as the praise I heard. But
Sure.
7 was different. I was like, nope, that you cannot have. My expectations were not ruined. They honestly surpassed any expectations I had. And every time, what I loved about it is every time I thought I guessed what the twist was going to be, I was wrong. Or every
Yeah.
time I thought, okay, it's going to go this way, I was wrong, which honestly made it such a. I was just sitting on the edge of my seat because I had no idea where it was going to go. And performances across the board were great. And Kevin Spacey freaked me out even at 20. And you know, you could argue, is it acting? Is it real? I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
He was
you know,
scary
no,
even back then.
yeah, but it was very good, very good. I mean, I gave it. I've said this before. I rarely give 5 stars on a first watch. I gave 5 stars to 7.
Nice.
Yeah.
It is one of my favorite movies.
I believe that was one of Brad Pitt's first starring roles, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
believe Fincher didn't even want to hire him because he saw what he did in an interview with a vampire and was like, I kind of don't want that guy.
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot he was in that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And so yeah, 7 is one of those movies where, but yeah, here's the thing: it takes a certain kind of film viewer to really appreciate something like that. I mean, I don't mean to come off, you know, sounding like a snob or like a hipster or something like that. No, I saw 7 before it was cool. You know, but people watch movies for different reasons, and the people who watch a movie like 7 isn't watching it to be entertained. They're watching it to get enthralled by the drama, and that's really the core of what 7 is a lot of character drama. And it's very dialogue driven. Like you have to sit down, you have to get locked into the conversations because the talking is so subtle and so quiet. Like you could almost call the talking the background noise of the movie, which is a very weird thing to say, but
it kind of made me think of Collateral.
Yeah,
because you know, with Collateral, you're watching 2 guys in a taxi cab for most of the movie, and you're sitting there going, you're invested. You know, you're like, what's going to happen next? And it's just great. It was very well written.
I also like the dark and grimy cinematography of the movie. This feels like it kind of reminds me of Gotham a little bit. Just
it does. It really does. And what's funny is the entire film, you never hear what the name of the city is. Anytime someone references where they are, they always call it this place or this city or something similar, something very vague and non-specific. So you almost feel like this place could be anywhere, but at the same time, it also forces the city to almost become a character of its own because they're referencing it with such not reverence, but just dread. Like you really get the impression that everybody who lives in this place is stuck.
Well, it's kind of like makes me think of Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. I mean, yes, it was supposed to be like 80s New York, but they never call it that, or they never. And well, I guess technically it is Gotham City, but
it is. I think the way like it's called that once,
right? But you're not thinking of that when you're watching the movie,
right?
You can tell everyone hates that they're there, but they can't get out. They can't afford to get out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's always really nice whenever a director can turn the location into its own character almost. There's different ways to go about that. Obviously, like I'll give you another Gotham example. If you go back and you watch the 1988 Batman with Michael Keaton, I mean, Gotham looks larger than life. It looks grand, but it also looks dingy and dirty, and this architecture. Obviously, it's not something that we see anywhere else in the world. But once you get in, you get your boots on the ground. It almost looks like it's somewhere you've been before. So
it's got that relatability to it.
It does. It really does. I love that so much. And like I said, there's different ways to go about it. If you look at Lord of the Rings, for example, Middle Earth is really its own character. Middle Earth itself is its own driving force, and it's not just going from location to location. It's you go to this location, you see what it's all about. You go to this location, you see what it's all about. Like not 1 minute feels wasted, and that's something that is very prevalent in Seven as well. Not 1 minute is wasted. Not one word of dialogue is wasted. Everything that you see is important, right down to the smallest little detail.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie that I watched preparing for this stream, because I've seen some David Fincher films. I've seen Fight Club. I've seen Seven. I've seen Gone Girl. I've seen. I was thinking of another one and I just lost it. But
Alien 3, you've seen.
Yes,
that one is not. It's not his fault that one's kind of.
That was a lot of studio interference.
Yeah.
But the film that I watched to prepare for this was The Game with Michael Douglas and Sean Penn.
Oh, I love that movie. I know that's a controversial movie. Some people don't like it. Some people like it. I like it.
Here's the thing. I was telling Andrew this before the stream started. I sat down and I started the movie, and I was enthralled all through it. Like I was on board. I was rooting for this guy. I wanted to know what the big reveal was going to be. And then, Andrew, I'm going to spoil this for you. I know you haven't seen it, but
yeah, probably tune out on this part.
I looked it up. The movie's been out for almost 30 years. It's not your fault that I haven't seen it.
Yeah. But so Michael Douglas goes through this absurd sequence of events that just leaves him beaten, bloody, just hopeless, only to find out that it was all an elaborate hoax set up by his brother for his birthday party. I mean, that this guy is getting shot at. He's getting chased. He's getting beaten up. He's getting drugged. He gets shipped to Mexico with nothing but the clothes on his back and a watch that he was wearing. And he goes through all this just to find out it was all basically a prank. And I know that there's the in-universe explanation of, Sean Penn, who is Michael Douglas's brother. He's trying to show Michael Douglas, how to appreciate life, how to appreciate the things that he has, and don't go down the same route as their father, who killed himself by jumping off a building. And that's
which is Mario, by the way. That is played by Mario, Charles Martinet.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yes, it is.
He jumps off the building. You just hear,
whoa!
Can you imagine?
But you hit that twist at the end, and honestly, it's
really hit or miss.
It did not work for me. Every second of that movie, up until those last 5 minutes, I was like, I am so freaking on board. And then that hits, and I'm like, wait a minute. None of this makes sense now. No, but that's first impression bias. I'm sure that if I go back and rewatch the movie, I'll catch little hints of things here and there. But I really feel like if that was the direction they were going, it could have been a bit more ironed out, I suppose.
That's like the most controversial part of the movie. Even Fincher himself said that he wished he could have done it a little bit better. But in my opinion, I personally like it. But that being said, I'm a bit biased because I really like most of his movies, and I thought it was a fun twist.
Sure.
But that being said, I think there could have been another twist that would work in its place as well.
Yeah. And I was thinking about it, and so he supposedly shoots Sean Penn on the rooftop of that building, and then he, grief stricken, thinks he killed his brother, jumps off the building. Until I go back and I rewatch that movie and I look for subtle hints and stuff like that. Until then, I'm almost thinking that he actually died when he jumped off that building, and then the reveal of the whole big prank thing is just his after death. I don't want to be that guy who, film theory. Oh, he was dead the whole time. That's because that's such a cop out. But I feel like within the context of this movie, I feel like that's not an illogical line of thinking.
Yeah. It definitely is one of his less realistic ones.
My daughter's protesting bedtime.
Oh, I thought she was like, no, I liked the twist, Dad. What are you talking about?
It's like M. Night Shyamalan and Robot Chicken. What a twist!
Oh my gosh.
And that's something that David Fincher's known for. He's known for his last 5 minutes of the movie twists.
There's definitely one in Fight Club.
I don't want to know. I'm halfway watching that for the first time.
There's definitely one in Fight Club. There was definitely one in this movie. There was definitely one in Gone Girl. There was definitely one in Seven.
Gone Girl is like halfway through, though.
If I could just ask for one of his movies not to be spoiled, it's Fight Club. I'm watching it.
Spoiler alert for Fight Club. He was in a coma the whole time. No, that's not true.
I know. Now, I was going to say, I had seen, as far as I know, I had seen 3 David Fincher movies previously before doing homework. Alien 3, Social Network, and Seven. Love 2 of those. Alien 3 is fine. It's got some good stuff.
Sure.
Then I have watched 3.5 movies because I had stuff going on this week and I didn't have enough time to finish all 4. 2 of which I had owned. Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Nice.
Which I loved that movie. It was
good. It's good, but it's probably my least favorite besides Alien 3.
I was gonna say I don't know what its rewatchability is so much, but on a first-time watch, I thought it was really good. Then I watched Gone Girl, which awesome. That Rosamund Pike freaked me out. I kept thinking she's gonna kill Ben Affleck. I was like, holy cow.
There's some moments in these movies where you just want to be like, nope, can't look at that.
Exactly. I was like, Mom, bedtime story maybe.
Oh, that's especially true with like the girl with the dragon tattoo. Mm-hmm. That one has some hard to see scenes in it.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that yet.
Some things in that movie go past like shock value and more into like fetish.
Yikes!
It's strange at times.
And then I watched Zodiac earlier today.
I love Zodiac,
which was
really
awesome.
Good.
I loved it, even though
the basement scene is so good.
Oh, that freaked me out. I was like, holy crap! I was like, poor Jake Gyllenhaal. And then I had to look it up, and I was like, all right, his character's still alive. Good.
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal. First he's in Zodiac, and then he's in Prisoners with Hugh Jackman. I mean, this guy loves his crime thrillers.
Yeah, and then of course I am just over halfway through Fight Club, which I'm loving. So yeah, pretty good homework.
I'm hoping that one day. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. But I was just going to kind of affirm what he was saying. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm hoping that one day I can collect all of. I've seen all of his films. I haven't seen all of his TV shows, but all the movies I've seen. One day I'm going to try to have a complete collection of his Blu-rays besides The Killer. There's never been a Killer on Blu-ray, but I think the rarest one that I have right now is Mank.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was actually looking at that on IMDb. That one looked kind of interesting.
Isn't Killer a Netflix movie?
The Killer is a Netflix movie. So is Mank, but I may or may not have been able to get... I don't buy Blu-rays often, so I may or may not have been able to get a copy of the screener that they give out to Academy members when they're voting for Best Picture and sort of things like that. But that's my rarest movie in my collection.
I saw he'll be directing the American Squid Game show.
Yeah, I saw that too, and I know he's very accomplished when it comes to TV. I mean, I don't know if you've seen House of Cards. I mean,
I didn't know he did that. Oh.
So I'm watching Mindhunter right now.
Mindhunter is good too, but House of Cards, as far as TV, I think is his magnum opus. I mean, say what you want about Kevin Spacey. I mean, that's a whole big other. That's another can of worms. But I mean, you can't deny that man can act, and House of Cards is probably Kevin Spacey's best work.
Wow, I know that show he created the Netflix to doom by hitting the desk.
Yeah, I mean, David Fincher is such a diverse filmmaker. I mean, you can look at a movie and definitely recognize his work, even though that movie is completely different than anything else you'd seen from him. Like, Seven is very different from Fight Club, is very different from Alien 3, is very different from The Game, is very different from Zodiac, and it's nice when a director doesn't fall into a niche, like Michael Bay, for example.
What I've done.
God, don't get me wrong. Michael Bay can make a movie that will turn a profit.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's ever made a flop before.
The Chicago battle scene in whichever Transformers movie it is, that is really cool. Basically, ILM was like, we're just gonna show off.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say he can direct the hell out of some action, but he can't direct a good story.
Nope. You know what? It's crucial to the plot that we get Megan Fox opening the hood of the car. All right. Without that, the movie it doesn't make sense. I don't know where it's going after that.
It needs more American flags in the background.
Yeah. Not going to lie, the only Michael Bay movie I've seen is like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh gosh.
I'll be honest. You've seen one of his better ones.
Yeah. Hey, that first Transformers movie to this day is still holds up.
Yeah, it's not.
She did it.
It's not a bad movie.
Yeah.
It's just
a movie.
I wish I could figure out what word to apply to that. It's an easily digestible movie.
A popcorn movie.
It's fast food.
Yeah, exactly. A popcorn movie.
Yeah. But it's better than Rise of Skywalker.
It is better than Rise of Skywalker.
Which is also
there's a lot of things that are better than Rise of Skywalker.
True. We should do a Michael Bay topic episode.
I don't want to do a Michael Bay topic episode.
What's your thing with bad movies?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, I got Troll.
What's my favorite bad movie? I mean that's a very easy to question to answer. My favorite bad movie is The Pest.
I saw this short from Fanboy Flicks. Cam, you've got me hooked on him.
Oh, I love his videos.
He was showing this movie. I don't even remember what it was called. It was from like the 60s, where this guy meets this like other like wizard or whatever who's on the floor, and he's tickling him with a tickle stick, like staff thing. And he goes, he says, how many times are you tickling people, and for how long, to the point where you go, you know what? I can't do this with my hands anymore. I gotta make this magical stick to do it for me.
Every one of his videos over the last couple of years, he edits himself into the movie.
Yeah,
and it's hilarious. He like riffs off himself, and it's so funny.
Or there was one he did where these guys crash land on a planet that's only filled with women, like women aliens. but
I've seen that one.
They look like women who hate men, even though they've never seen men before.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was just like...
Sounds like the Rick and Morty episode.
Yeah.
Cinema.
He did a video for... I think it was like the newest The Ring movie. And... I can't remember what leads up to this, but every time I think of him, I think of this one particular section in the video where he's talking about filming with the vintage camera, and he's like, well, how the hell are you gonna do that? You gotta crank it fast. and it's just the way that he says that. I don't know why. It's so him. I
know what you mean. Yeah. Dude's hilarious, man.
Yeah, I've been watching him for like the last 8 or 9 years. But back when he was doing couch commentaries with a buddy of his, and very different stuff. But it was all still the same sense of humor.
Yeah, it makes watching bad movies fun. I'm sorry, bad is too nice. It makes watching ridiculous and horrible movies fun.
Yeah,
like Trolls 2.
Well, yeah, he did a Troll 2 episode.
They're gonna eat her. Oh my gosh.
Nilbog! It's goblin spelled backwards!
Oh my gosh.
So dumb.
All right. What were we talking about again? Michael Bay, right? So
yes,
Michael
exactly.
Bay, you know,
Michael Bay, my favorite filmmaker of all time. I promise I didn't get paid to say that.
right. Yeah, shill.
And see, I feel like anybody who has an appreciation for film is never going to call Michael Bay their favorite director.
Yeah. And then Cam pulls out, he says, check out this new Transformers Lego set exclusively at Target.
I have Michael Bay's filmography right here.
my, my Blu-ray collection is just Michael Bay.
Yeah, exactly. It starts with The Rock and it goes all the way up. What was the last
Ambulance.
Michael Bay movie that came? Yeah.
Which, you know what that movie, the description of that movie was? I saw on the streaming service, I can't remember which one. It literally said, Michael Bay was gifted a drone.
Isn't he like making a Skibbity movie?
Is he what?
Isn't he like making a Skibbity movie?
You know what?
know.
That was announced and he debunked it.
Okay.
But you know what my theory is? He was really gonna do it, and then they saw the reaction online and was like, nope.
My reputation's already bad enough as it is.
Yeah. Or otherwise it's gonna go down the toilet. So but he is apparently gonna direct another Transformers movie. Instead of doing a sequel to Transformers 1, they're gonna do another live action. There's like 5 movies in the works for Transformers. Yeah.
I mean, I guess if anyone was going to do it, might as well be him.
He was just like talking to James Cameron, and James Cameron's like, "I'm doing 7 Avatar movies," and he's like, "I'm going to do 7 Transformers movies."
Yeah.
Michael Bay went to Paramount and he was like, "Please, it's all I've got."
Yeah, he hands his scripts over to the studio execs, and each script is like 4 pages long.
Although I will
No,
say,
it's a picture book. It's like one of those with the gold spine.
It's a.
but I will.
They're flipping through the script. It's like, okay, Mr. Bay, you have a page in here that just says "boom."
I will say, Age of Extinction, Stanley Tucci makes that movie good because there's a scene where he's hiding and it's like a big glass built like building or whatever. And he goes, "Oh, great, a big glass box. No one will find us in here." That was actually filmed not too far from where I live, actually.
Oh, really?
I think it was filmed in just outside of Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Michael Bay.
And then we
does like to
find
get
out
around.
that. Then we find out that Wahlberg's like a descendant of like a Transformer or something or whatever. It's like, wait a minute, how does that work?
Who knows?
He's running around with a gun, shooting up, and it's like, huh?
Well, it's like every Transformers movie. They don't say this, but every Transformers movie opens up with, "Oh, well, you think you know the story. Turns out you don't."
It's one of those in a car accident, huh? You're probably wondering how I got here. Let me back you up 24 hours.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, well, the Transformers came to Earth because of this, but in the next movie, it shows that they really came to Earth because of this.
Yeah,
and then in the next movie, it shows you what they did when they got to Earth.
Yeah,
but then the movie after, it's like, no, they also did this too.
Has
and then they
X-Men
give
level
us-
continuity.
but then they give us a movie like Bumblebee, which is great, but it's like the reputation's ruined at that point.
Yeah,
It's like Rise of Beast was.
Yeah.
That was 2.5 hours of. Yep.
Yeah, I sat through that. I really sat through that.
I had to do this,
But
but I sat through it.
Stop it!
No, please make it stop.
It's like I'm holding the remote and I'm like, someone turn it off. Turn it off.
It's you go to press the off button on your Blu-ray player. Michael Bay just appears and slaps your hand away.
Like in Liar, it's like in Liar Liar. The pen is blue. The movie's on.
Oh God!
Wow, we went
How
off the rails with the
do we go
Transformers
on
movie.
these tangents?
Hey, we just were like a Transformers movie. We went completely off the rails.
Exactly. There- there's no picking this train back up. So,
So anyway, Steven Spielberg.
So when it comes to a David Fincher movie, he has a very particular style that he incorporates. He's very very methodical with his shots. His environments tend to be very what's the word I'm looking for? Sterile isn't the right word for it. Almost clinical, I could say, and how meticulously they're crafted. And typically, whenever I think of a David Fincher film, the first thing that I think of, and granted, this isn't something that's super prevalent throughout all his movies, but the first thing that I think of is his nighttime cinematography. I don't know what it is, but the guy has an eye for filming at night and making it look really freaking good.
Well, yeah. I mean, most of a lot of the scenes in Gone Girl take place at night. I mean, there's a fair share of date scenes, but I'd argue some of the best scenes are at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Seven. I mean, that's a movie that's one, almost entirely at night, and two, it never stops freaking raining in that town.
Right, exactly. With no grass.
Yeah.
You know what? It felt very Blade Runner in that sense.
That's
did.
kind of funny because I have the 4K of 7, and he basically fixed some continuity errors. He added more rain to one scene. Because, because the rain machine was not working in that scene.
Yeah, I think I remember making a note of that because the first time I saw Seven, I rented the DVD from the video store that I was right next to the neighborhood I lived in at the time down in Florida. It was called Movie Gallery. It was kind of a smaller version of Blockbuster. And I remember being like, wait a minute, wasn't it just raining in the last shot? It's like Florida. It rains and then it doesn't, and then it rains and then it doesn't. You could have bright, sunshiny skies in your front yard and freaking torrential downpours in your backyard. I mean, that's just how the world works, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, but the way that he makes each environment feel so authentic is just great. I made a note of this as I was watching the game. The video quality wasn't the best. I was watching it through like a third party streaming site, but sketchy as all hell. I probably have Russian malware on my computer now or something, but. But even with that, I mean, his nighttime scenes are so crisp and so clear, and you can tell that where they're at is super dark, but you can still make out exactly what you're supposed to make out. As opposed to a lot of movies that you saw back in like this was a big thing, but between the 60s and 80s, there were a lot of movies that filmed day for night. You would it would be like a supposedly nighttime scene, but you can tell it was massively color corrected, and no nighttime scene comes with those freaking stark shadows that come from crisp sunshine.
Funny enough, he actually did do that method for Mank, but I think he was trying to do that on purpose because it's supposed to look like a 1930s film.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I saw on IMDb that it was in black and white, and I love a good noir style film.
It's probably his best looking.
Yeah,
it's probably his best looking movie.
I'm curious. I'm curious to look up who the director of photography was for that. Andrew, go gadget IMDb.
What's it called again? Mank.
Yeah, MANK. One of the things I really like about Fincher is a lot of people like praise Christopher Nolan, and I'm one of them, but they praise that he uses a lot of practical things. David Fincher says, if it blends in, it doesn't matter if it's practical or CGI.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if you know this, but there's a lot of CGI in Zodiac. It's just so well hidden.
Yeah. I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, like like when it pans out on the city is completely CGI. When Mark Ruffalo
Oh,
is
wow.
walking away from a taxi, that's not a nighttime scene. That's a blue screen.
Oh wow.
Like just a lot of, and then like a lot of the blood in the movie is also CGI as well.
Interesting.
You know, if I got a dime
Just
for every
hidden
time
very
Mark
well.
Ruffalo was investigating something, I'd have like 5 nickels.
It's yeah, well, yeah. I mean, Mark Ruffalo exits a cab in Zodiac. He walks towards a cab in Collateral. Mark Ruffalo just
Yeah.
has bad luck with cabs.
Shutter Island. He's literally
Yeah, yeah.
That was a good movie. I was not expecting Shutter Island to be as good as it was.
so the cinematographer for Mank, and I'm going to butcher this name, is Eric Messerschmidt.
I don't know that I've ever heard that name before.
I've never. Yeah, I apologize. I know I butchered that.
What else has he worked on?
Let's see. Okay, he did camera cinematographer for The Killer. He's worked on. He was the director of photography for Sicario: Day of Soldado.
Oh, okay. So the
he was-
sequel.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was second unit on that. He's done a lot of lighting technician. He worked on the Fargo series. He's worked on Mindhunter, Raised by Wolves.
Ah, that's a good one too.
Um,
Oh,
he's relatively new though. His oldest cinematography, well, I shouldn't say, is back in 2003, early
Okay.
2000s. He did shorts. His first big stuff was early 2010s.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he certainly knows how to make a good-looking movie. That's for sure.
Something I didn't know. You've both seen The Social Network, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I love that movie.
Are you all aware about like the twins in that movie?
Mm-hmm.
It's just one guy. Like they used the guy's face on a
Wow.
body double.
I
Mhm.
actually did not know that. I thought it was really twins.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
Yeah, that's a fairly common practice, especially nowadays. If you guys have seen The Flash, they did the same thing with that with Ezra Miller playing one version of Barry Allen, and then the other one is a body double with the face kind of superimposed onto it. There are some shots where we can kind of see, oh yeah, that's definitely not really there, but for the most part, it's pretty seamless. I'm not gonna lie.
They also did it in Logan with X-24.
Yes, they did. Yes. Oh, I love Logan. One of my favorite comic book films of all time.
It is probably my favorite live-action Marvel movie.
Yeah?
Yeah. I will say not my favorite Marvel movie. That goes to one of the two Spider-Verse movies. Those two are probably my favorite Marvel movies. But like, as far as live action goes, Logan probably gets number one for me.
If you could have David Fincher direct any comic book film, who would you want the main character to be?
I'm 50-50 on this. I've thought about this before. I would probably say Batman because he actually inspired Matt Reeves' The Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And I would actually kind of like to see him make his own version of that and maybe compare. But yeah, I feel like the dark and grimy stuff works really well with that character.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, Matt Reeves has said that Zodiac is one of his inspirations for the Batman. So yeah, that makes total sense. Definitely.
Yeah. I think I will have to see how the live action turns out, but Spider-Man Noir, I think, is another one outside of Batman that I think he could do a pretty good job with.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that. And it's not just that I love Nicolas Cage. I mean, I'll watch anything Nicolas Cage is in because the man is just a freaking enigma. But I mean, it looks so cool. Yeah, like you watch that, like you watch the trailer for it, and the first thing I thought of when I saw the trailer was 1940s noir. It's perfect. I mean, you have the steady camera, the Dutch tilts. The angles that make everything look super large and super imposing, and I'm so stoked for it.
Do
I
you
can't
think,
wait.
I'll ask you both this. Do you think David Fincher could handle doing a Bond movie?
I think he's skilled enough. I don't know if he would make it too dark, though. Yeah, I was about to
No, that's
mention that I
true.
think it would be funny, and I'm not suggesting he do this, but I think it would have been funny if instead of James Gunn directing the Superman, what if we got a David Fincher Superman?
Good God, it would probably be
It would be
the
darker than
most
Zack
down to earth
Snyder's.
Superman we've ever
Yeah.
gotten. But
He would be Amy, Lois Lane is my sister. What?
yeah, Lex Luthor has a box. When Superman is near the box, he gets weak. And he's like, "Oh God, what's in the box?" And he opens it up. It's just a little piece of kryptonite.
Where's Martha?
I am looking forward to that new Superman movie, though.
I can't believe it comes out this week.
That's crazy.
I'm so excited. The marketing, I'm not gonna lie, the marketing has been some of the best I've seen for a movie in a long time.
I am cautiously optimistic for that. I think Andrew, you saw the thing that I posted today about how James Gunn decided to cut out a scene of Ultraman punching Crypto because because test screenings didn't go well and people were like, it's glorifying animal abuse. It's like, no, it's not.
Did you watch Guardians 3?
That's the villain. We're supposed to not like the villain.
You know why? Because I was thinking about this. I was like, why would he do that? He's got full creative control. I think because, while yes, technically Creature Commandos is the start of this new DCU. I mean, come on. How many people in the general audience actually watched that show? It's really kicking off with Superman. And I think in order for future projects to have a shot at doing good, Superman has to not only be good, but do good.
Yeah.
So he probably was like, okay, maybe we'll see that in future projects, because I know there will be R-rated projects and stuff like that. But I think because, like I said, there's a ton of pressure on this movie. He's probably not going to take a ton of risks with it.
Yeah, so, starting off safe definitely isn't a bad idea for the most part. Like, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, for example, I saw it in theaters and I watched it one other time. I bought it on Blu-ray because my daughter loves it. For the subject matter that is present in the Five Nights at Freddy's games, they didn't quite go for it with the movie. But I also had to consider the fact that it's a PG-13 movie whose target audience is actually younger kids. So they had to make the movie easily digestible to get the audience on board, so that way they could go for it later. And I was considering that with this Superman movie. And Andrew, you really hit the nail on the head there. I'm hoping that this movie does well enough for the studio to look at it and say, okay, now we can start taking risks.
Well, and one thing I like too. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, you can go first if you want. I was just going to say I don't think Superman's very much of an R-rated character, to be honest, unless you're talking about, like, say, Injustice.
Injustice or Absolute Superman, that would definitely be a more mature storyline.
Well, and one thing I really like that James Gunn has been doing is he is incredibly active on threads where people will ask him a question. 9 times out of 10, he'll reply. And he's told people, he's like, DC Studios is separate from Warner Brothers. Yes, there's the ownership, but they don't oversee the projects. He does. And so I think, he's just trying to make sure everyone can enjoy this movie. So, I'm excited for it. I think everyone that's been cast as the main characters, like David Cornswet, he feels like Superman. And I'm not saying I liked Man of Steel, so I'm not saying that as a Snyder hater, but David Cornswet to me when I look at him, it makes me think of Christopher Reeves.
Sure. I can see that.
And so I'm pretty excited for it, and I hope it's good. I really do.
I really hope so too. It's I want this studio to be encouraged to really go for it with this property, because I mean DC stands for Detective Comics. They were known for being darker and grittier than Marvel.
Holy popcorn,
And
Batman.
yeah. Well,
Exactly.
besides that, I mean that was just Adam West, and Adam West is his own beast.
Yeah,
But
that's true. That's true. That's what I like, the darkness of DC Comics.
Yeah, I do too.
And
Did any of y'all ever see The Penguin?
Yes, I love
Dude,
that show.
I love it so much.
I like it, but I think I like the Batman just a bit more.
Yeah,
I can see that. I get that. Yeah.
Well, we will see. Now, let's say that David Fincher was to get on board with any other big IP. What franchise would you want to see him part of?
To be honest, I don't know if this is much of a caveat, but I kind of want to see him finish the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo trilogy, because I did like the first movie. I thought the first movie was very good, even though, like I said earlier, there were some parts that were hard to watch. I did think it was overall a pretty good film, and I would just really like to see how it ends. But I cannot really think of any properties that you do very well that already exist at least.
Okay. How about you, Andrew?
Okay, two popped into my head just now. First one, because Cam, you may, or you're either going to really agree with me on this, or I'm going to be kicked off the show.
Oh boy.
After Dune Messiah, Denis Villeneuve is leaving Dune.
Yes.
I think David Fincher could fit the tone of the Dune series with the world building. It can get pretty dark. I mean, look at Dune Part 2. That's got, for a PG-13 movie, that's got some pretty big stuff in it.
Yeah.
And I really think he could handle, kind of already talked about this, but if they were to do like another
I'm playing with a nickel.
There you go. If they did like another without walking, maybe, if they did another Joker movie with or without Joaquin Phoenix, I know that kind of goes with Batman, but I think if he didn't do something like Dune, I think he could do something like that.
Yeah, like a Batman Rogues Gallery kickoff movie.
Yeah.
What if he did a grounded Spider-Man?
Ooh. Oh, yeah, and you get Fisk to be in it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, I would like that because Spider-Man, I mean, as quippy and silly as he is, Spider-Man is a tortured character. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna go for it here. I want him to direct a Spider-Man 2099 movie with Oscar Isaac reprising the role as Miguel O'Hara.
Miguel, yeah.
Yes. Because he was my favorite character in Beyond the Spider-Verse. Across the Spider-Verse. Yeah, Beyond the Spider-Verse is the next one. Across the Spider-Verse. He was my favorite character.
I mean, you know what? He may be your favorite character in Beyond. We just don't know yet.
He probably will be. I mean, the writing for him was just outstanding.
Oh, I don't want to wait for that movie.
Supposedly coming out 2027.
Supposedly, but do you remember back when Beyond the Spider-Verse came out and they said, oh yeah, the sequel's coming out in 6 months. Okay.
That was I never believed that, to be honest.
No, neither did I. I mean, if that had been the case, it would have come out a year and a half ago.
Yeah,
I kind of thought that they might have had two teams working on them simultaneously if that was going to happen. But at the same time, I thought that just seems a little bit too far-fetched.
Yeah.
The moment I heard that production hadn't even started, I was like, yeah, no, we're not getting this anytime soon.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think it's going to be worth the wait. Even if it's it would suck if the movie was like, eh. But one thing I forgot to mention about David Fincher that I liked that a lot of my favorite directors do is not necessarily for every movie, but he likes to reuse a lot of the same actors.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that it makes me think of like Nolan. There's several actors that he uses multiple times.
Yeah, Denis Villeneuve does the same thing.
Yeah, Denis does it. Spielberg did it. So
Scorsese definitely does it.
oh yeah,
Robert De Niro and
Yes.
Leonardo DiCaprio are like in
Well-
13 of his movies.
exactly.
Well, I mean, with
Tarantino
Scorsese,
does kind of the same thing.
well, with Scorsese, you could almost call it nepotism at this point. I mean, I mean,
Right.
he has his clique.
Yeah.
I mean, even with Killers of the Flower Moon, his most recent one, he got both of his
Yeah.
actors to come
And-
together.
And they're related.
Oh my gosh.
Now, I don't know how hot of a take this is going to be. You know, I'm
Oh,
going to
no.
briefly bring. I'm going to briefly bring it back to what you'd like to see David Fincher make.
Mhm.
I want David Fincher to make a Mortal Engines movie.
I don't even know what that is.
Me
Ma-
neither.
Mortal Engines was a series of books that came out, you know, in like the YA novel boom.
Mhm.
There have now been 2 different attempts to adapt it to
Oh,
the big screen.
did Peter Jackson produce
Yes.
one of them? Okay, then I know what
Peter
you're talking
Jackson
about.
produced the film, which
Yeah.
which was a historical box office bomb.
Okay, so I have heard of that. Okay.
Yeah, and then
I don't know
and then
anything about the story, but yeah.
And then there was a TV series that came out to reboot, you know, the franchise.
That is
and
the
that-
hottest take I've heard today.
That didn't do so well either. I think that the subject material is mature enough with enough leeway for character growth for David Fincher to have an absolute blast with it.
Mhm.
And it goes dark, but not overly dark. But those not overly dark moments, David Fincher could definitely elevate to turn them into something a lot more cerebral and engaging than what you would expect from a YA novel.
Yeah.
They tried to do that with the Divergent series, which never got finished. And they kind of succeeded with that with Maze Runner. Those movies actually really surprised me.
You know, in Divergent, I think it's the second movie. No, the third movie, I think. We get the most iconic scream in cinema history in 10 seconds. Within 10 seconds, we get it twice.
Is it like the Wellheim scream?
No, it's like, oh, what's her name? Shailene Woodley does this like shriek. But she does the same. It's the same. You can tell that she recorded it once, and then they played it twice.
Yeah.
And it's not even a jump that warrants that kind of scream. It's like the jump in Dark Knight, Cam, when he jumps across the little pond that we think is big. It's kind of like that kind of jump.
I thought you were talking about Batman. Damn it.
That's what I thought too. I forgot.
But I just thought of another movie that I think deserves a sequel that David Fincher could do. It's the original movie was an indie movie. Not a lot of people have heard of it. It was an international movie. And while the second one wouldn't necessarily be based on real events like the first movie, I think he could continue the story with character depth, go dark when it needs to be dark, and really build the relationship of characters.
What about Blade Runner?
I did a really good job with that because Cam has no idea what I'm talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't
it's
know.
An Australian movie.
Oh my god.
Crocodile Dundee. I knew we were that.
Yeah, exactly. You could direct the fifth one or fourth one?
I was so sure. We were so close to the end, and then you just had to fucking derail me.
Hey, you know what? There was a stream where you brought it up and I didn't. So
Wait, were you actually talking about Crocodile Dundee?
No, he was talking about the freaking Emu War.
Oh.
But you know what? I would not be mad if he did a Crocodile Dundee movie.
No,
but
if he has a good script, he can make it.
Honestly, I'm at the point with his movies where it's like what Nolan or Denis Villeneuve. It could be a movie about watching grass grow that's 2.5 hours long.
Yeah,
and I would be engaged the whole time.
Definitely.
So,
David Fincher's movies. So 90% of the time they're fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
The other 10% of the time is Alien 3. But
yeah, and that's not even like we said earlier. It's not necessarily.
it's not even a bad movie. It's just a movie you can tell that had a lot of studio interference, which it happens.
That tells you how good his movies are. That like Alien 3 is a kind of movie that most directors nowadays would love to say, yeah, I directed Alien 3.
Yeah.
But for him, it's like, yeah, that was just...
He just owns it. Like, I'm not going to repeat what he says, but he says some bad stuff about that movie.
I will say, I don't know if any of you have seen it, but if you watch the extended version of the movie, it helps it a little bit.
I haven't seen the extended version.
Yeah, there's like an assemblies cut that I almost tried watching, but I was too lazy to.
Well, it's funny because as far as I know, the original Alien didn't, but Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection all have extended cuts. So
interesting. Well, I know I have the unrated version of Aliens.
I think that's the same thing.
Yeah,
that's what I meant was unrated. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but the Blu-ray doesn't work, unfortunately. I put it into my PlayStation and I got about 45 seconds into it, and the movie just freezes.
Is there scratches on the disc? Or?
No, the disc is immaculate. I don't know what the deal is.
To be honest, Blu-ray discs don't really get scratch damage all too much. It's more so DVDs.
Yeah, that's true.
The Blu-rays have like a protective layer that they spray over it.
Yeah, I don't know.
There you go.
So it's probably a bad encode. It's probably just a bad disc.
It could be. Every now and then people get unlucky with that. But all that matters is that the Blu-ray for Ash comes out on the 22nd. That's all that matters.
You know what? I know I didn't get to see that because my theater didn't have it, but I'm probably going to buy that when it comes out.
Oh, I have it pre-ordered already.
You know what? I know it's a new movie, and we have rules on the show, and we'd have to talk with the producers and everything. But
we don't have rules here.
We could discuss that maybe.
I bet I would definitely be down for that. What day of the week is the 22nd? Today's the 6th.
That's a Tuesday.
That's a Tuesday.
Yeah, I got my calendar right here. So
okay, we could probably do it. Actually, no, I wouldn't want to do it that following Sunday because I don't know when my pre-order is going to get here. So
that's a good point. Because that week, you know what? Yeah, because I may not be able to get to Walmart till that Sunday. Actually.
Gotcha. Yeah, if it is at Walmart, you might have to get it online.
Yeah, that's true. Or I could just buy it off Amazon. So.
I haven't seen disc in stores in a long time. I went to a Target once, and they have
they don't sell movies anymore.
They have a copy of Oppenheimer, and then 5 books underneath it.
Dude, they quit. The one at least closest to me, they quit selling movies, and so whenever I go in person, dude, Walmart is great with the movies that they put out.
Yeah.
The selection that they have. So or Amazon. I'll buy off of Amazon if I find good deals on there. I found a copy of Dances with Wolves the other day at Walmart for $9 on Blu-ray, and it's got the extended version of the movie on there.
Dances with Wolves. That's Kevin Costner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway. But I've only bought a few movies. It just...
Oh, yeah, just a few. Only your favorites.
Right, exactly. Only my top 10 movies, of the last however many years.
Yeah. Your top 10. Just add a couple more zeros to that.
Right, yeah. It's like, if only I could say that with my bank account,
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we've hit just about an hour here. I'd say we can go ahead and start signing off. Definitely had a lot of fun talking about David Lynch. And if
you just did it again. You said David Lynch.
Son of a bitch, David Fincher.
I thought you were doing that on purpose.
I wasn't doing it on purpose, I promise.
I thought too. I was like, what the heck? And he just kept going. And I was like,
that's why I laughed.
Yeah, see, I heard that and I'm thinking in my head, why the hell is he laughing? What did I say? And then it hit me and I was like, God damn it. I hate it here.
Karate Kid.
But yeah.
I hate it here.
But yes, had a lot of fun talking about David Fincher.
There you go. Just think of your last name is Fisher, So just put an N instead of an S.
Oh,
There you
yeah.
go.
Yeah. But thank you, fellas, for joining me. If there were ever a motivation to have me go out and watch a lot more David Fincher films, I think this was it because I really loved I loved the game up until the last 5 minutes.
That's fair. That's fair. I
So-
like it, but that being said, I think your viewpoint is like very valid, and I kind of was a little bit the same way when I first watched it.
I had no
Yes.
comment.
Yes, Samuel. We discuss movies here every Sunday, and I'm
Every
sure that
Sunday.
we've been better about it. We've been better
That's
about it
true.
for the last few weeks.
That's true.
But I'm sure that you're probably just tuning in. We were talking about the work of David Fincher. Seven, Zodiac, The Game, Fight Club, Alien 3.
Social Network.
Social Network, exactly. Gone Girl, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Just an all-around fantastic filmmaker. So if you are new to the stream, then welcome. I apologize you're getting here as we're kind of wrapping up for the night. We usually tend to go for roughly an hour, sometimes a bit more,
Sometimes an hour
a bit
50.
less. So yeah, it really just depends. But we do this every Sunday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So feel free to drop by. We'd certainly love to have you tune in and join in the discussion with us.
Mm-hmm.
Fight Club is amazing. Yes, Andrew is in the process of watching that right now.
I got
first time viewing, believe it or not.
Yes, yeah. I think I'm at the part where Helena Bonham Carter has been like showing up at their house.
Yeah.
Back and forth.
Believe it or not, Edward Norton is the Hulk. I'm just kidding. I was going to try to make that sound like a spoiler, but it's not.
Yeah. Wait, no.
See, I really enjoyed that twist at the end where he realized it was all a dream.
I'm gonna be so mad if you joke. That's not a spoiler, and that is.
Yes, I'm joking. I'm not going to spoil the twist for you.
Might be like the spoiler for like the book or something. I don't know
Yeah,
how different the book is.
I can't believe I haven't ever
Brad
seen
Pitt
Fight
is
Club
really
spoilers.
Edward Norton's father.
Oh, jeez, that would be the most twisted thing.
He was
He's
dead the
Benjamin
whole
Button.
time.
He's reprising his role as Benjamin Button. Yeah, that's how he's his father.
See, Fight Club was really Brad Pitt's audition for Benjamin Button. So
Exactly. Hey, rule number 1 of Fight Club: we do not speak about Fight Club. Rule number 2 of Fight Club: we do not speak about Fight Club.
Have you seen the Blu-ray for that? I put in my Blu-ray for it, and they do a trick for it at the beginning. It plays a menu of a movie called Never Been Kissed because it doesn't want to break the rule of Fight Club.
That's
But then it
funny.
glitches out to like the living room from the movie.
okay.
Oh,
Jeez.
Sadly, I got spoiled by someone on Fight Club, but still the twist got me. Yes,
That's
it is probably
But you
one
know
of
what?
the most.
That's good that the twist still got you.
Yeah,
That tells me
it's
good.
probably one of the most iconic twists in film. Definitely.
I can't
As far
believe
as
I can't believe I've never been spoiled on it. Then I guess I can't call myself a movie fan anymore.
as far as twists go, I'm still upset because I remember a while back. I remember I had an English teacher who ruined like twist of Shutter Island. They just were talking to the whole.
No,
They were
dude.
talking to the whole class, and they said, "This is an old movie. I'm just going to say it."
It's
And then-
not that old.
Oh my god! How
Dude,
heartless.
and you see that? I think
Yeah.
Shutter Island's one of those movies with the twist where you almost have to go a long time without watching it to like have the twist get you, but it's still a good movie.
Yeah, I watched it, and I thought it was fantastic. I was like, "This is a really awesome movie." To think how much more I could have enjoyed it if I didn't have the
Yeah.
twist spoiled.
That's
Yeah,
rough.
sucks.
Actually, I had the twist for the Sixth Sense spoiled for me, and I was monumentally pissed about that.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, I know some people, like my mom, doesn't care about spoilers. I hate spoilers.
Yeah,
I can't stand it because, yeah, I could still watch it, but it's like, I just. Now, here's an example of it depends on how much I care about the project. So, I haven't watched the last 3 episodes of Ironheart yet. because it comes out on a Tuesday. We talk about them on a Monday.
Sure.
With it being 3-hour-long episodes, I really only have enough time to watch them once. So I try to watch them like Monday morning. Obviously, I already know about Mephisto, so I'm like, but I wasn't really. Thing is, those have been rumors for a long time with this show that Mephisto was going to show, so I'm not surprised, and I wasn't invested enough to be like,
Yee.
whoa, we almost got a little
A little
shudder
Dutch tilt there.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing pants.
Well, what do you say about the spoilers? Speaking of David Fincher and Fight Club, are you familiar with this? I think she used to be a talk show host named Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah.
Yes.
She got an early screening to Fight Club when it came out. She did not like it, so she went on TV before the movie came out and spoiled the twist.
Oh
And
my
she-
god.
She said that it was terrible. Do not watch it. This movie should be rated NC-17. This is a terrible movie.
Jeez.
And that just motivated everybody to go out and watch it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Because honestly, who listens to Rosie O'Donnell? Who ever listens to Rosie O'Donnell?
No, I'm kidding. I think the only movie I've ever seen her in is A League of Their Own. I don't think I've seen her in anything else that I know off the top of my head.
I don't think I have either, which is strange because she was so famous, and it's like I can't think of anywhere that I've ever seen her before.
Yeah, no, I can't either. How she got a talk show?
I think I maybe saw her on an episode of Celebrity Jeopardy.
That Celebrity Jeopardy is like the C-list celebrities most of the time.
Have you watched The Sadness? It's a Taiwanese movie, zombie horror, total gore.
I have not. Let me look it up.
You know something? I did hear about that movie, and it was actually fairly recently, and I looked up a little bit about it, but it wasn't anything that I really went down a rabbit hole for, but I do know of its existence. I know that Taiwanese films, Taiwanese horror films are great.
Dude, it's got an 87% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
Let's see. It's the premise on IMDb summary synopsis, as I find the word. A young couple trying to reunite amid a city ravaged by a plague that turns its victims into deranged, bloodthirsty sadists. Did I say that right? I don't know. Who cares?
Probably.
Is this movie on Tubi?
I don't know. I didn't see on IMDb, but I can check Tubi. I wouldn't be surprised.
It sounds like something that would be on Tubi.
Oh, cinema on Tubi is
I have added so many bad movies to my list on Tubi.
I was a wereskunk. That trailer, I died laughing. Okay, it's not on Tubi, but there is a movie called The Sadness of Sex.
I cannot imagine.
That's our movie for next week.
It says, all right, here's the synopsis. It's from 1995. 15 interwoven.
It's on Prime. Okay.
15 interwoven vignettes artfully manifest the experience of love and the phases of courtship that inevitably lead to their bitter end. Okay.
Sounds like my high school dating life.
Hey, at least you had a dating life.
It wasn't great, trust me. High school is like the worst time to date.
Yeah. This is how you know I date a lot. Why do I roast myself?
Scarlett Johansson, one day.
Yeah, well, after watching, I'll tell you this: if there's one pro to watching Rebirth, Scarlett Johansson. I watched it for the plot. By the way, if anyone ever offers me a Snickers bar again, I'm going to kindly say no.
Yeah, it's like you watch it for the plot. It's just Scarlett Johansson. You're just like, okay, so what was this movie about?
One thing I'll say that because Gareth Edwards, and I don't mean to keep going off the rails, but Gareth Edwards, he's not known for his deep character-driven stuff.
Sure.
But his movies, like The Creator, it's nothing. We've seen that story before. But man, is that movie beautiful! and and Rebirth is like that. The story's nothing new, but it's beautiful, and the color grading is, colors pop, and it's so cool. And the dinosaurs look awesome.
You know why the creator was such a beautiful video? It's because Greg Fraser was the DP.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Elizabeth Olsen. Yes, we love Elizabeth Olsen here.
Oh yeah. Let's just say that my new name is Vision. Wait, that means I'm dead. Anyway, signing off. This is Andrew.
Are you Vision, or are you the copy of Vision? But if you were the copy,
the one that flew away.
Yeah. That we haven't heard from since 2019.
Yeah. No, actually, I star in Godzilla. And wait, I don't think she had a love interest in that, actually.
She was also in that,
it's Godzilla!
She was also in that, Old Boy remake, right?
Yes, with Josh Brolin, which was
I'm not interested in watching that one. I still need to watch the original. I hear the original is really good.
The original is outstanding. Korean cinema is so much fun. The Korean storytelling in general is just great. But Old Boy is the film that people think of when they think of quality Korean film. That's just the long and short of it.
I know of the hallway scene.
Yeah,
that's the most iconic.
Rebirth is a lot like Kong Skull Island. I don't know if you've seen that movie.
Yeah. I saw it. I think I saw it in theaters, but I haven't seen it since.
It's kind of similar to that. People on an island. How many dinosaur islands are there? Don't get me wrong, I love it. I still enjoyed it. The thing is, these movies are still enjoyable with the dinosaurs, even if the plot sometimes is a little it was still very enjoyable, and it's doing well at the box office.
Oh,
Jurassic Park movies after Jurassic Park 3. I watched the first one, jumped to 3, and decided I don't think I'm going to watch it.
I like Jurassic Park 3, personally.
I've heard. Okay.
Yeah.
Their own. I do not like
They do stupid stuff, but man, is it an enjoyable movie.
I like Jurassic. I love the first Jurassic Park. I like The Lost World up until they go back to the mainland.
Mm-hmm.
Jurassic Park 3 is almost more of a guilty pleasure. I like things about it, but and then
for me, like Lost World, I'm not a huge fan of the story, but I love the dinosaurs.
Gotta go. I love the stream, and you subscribed. Well, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully, we see you next Sunday.
And this is how we always sign off. We say, Cam will say, "This is Cam," and you've just watched Cam and Focus Weekly.
Or did you guys ever watch Punk'd? That was before your time. And
no,
that was old MTV. And Ashton Kutcher just comes out of nowhere. Yes, you just got punked.
Oh man, I would say yes, you just got cammed, but some people would think you're saying canned, and they're like, "How did I get fired?"
I was just cammed. Did I just star in a porn? I didn't realize it.
Oh, like Joey and Friends. There I am.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just sitting back with the cameras, like, no, you're good.
You're like Tarantino. You're like, now, Salma Hayek, you have to have this liquid go down your leg. All right. It is.
And I'm gonna sit right here with the camera, and what you need to do is put your foot right here.
You see, I couldn't think of any other way to do this movie.
It's essential for the plot.
I was gonna say, yeah, and it's like, and then you watch Django Unchained, and you're like, man, did he get a pass?
Well, on that note, I think we can go ahead and sign off.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, fellas, for joining me. We went off on some tangents here, but that's what the show is all about. It's the celebration of film in any form that it takes. So thank you very much for joining me. Had a lot of fun discussing David Fincher.
There you go.
And Tune in next Sunday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time as we discuss next week's film. Don't quite know what that is yet, but we will discuss it. I'll make the announcement within the next couple of days.
We gotta have our production meeting with all the producers and everything.
Yes, every stream has a storyboard that never gets done.
Nope.
But
what if we told you all this going off the rails is scripted? Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's like halfway through the stream, I'm just like, all right, cut! And I end the stream. All right. Does anybody have any shameless plugs that they have coming up?
Yeah, sure, because I'm everywhere, apparently. Tomorrow night on the Feast of Phantoms YouTube channel for MCU Monday, we will go live to discuss part 2 of Ironheart. I've actually heard good things about this part, and each episode got slightly better, like in the first part. So if that continues, then the finale should be pretty good, which I've heard.
Sure.
Thursday night on the Cantina Happy Hour on the Feast of Phantoms YouTube channel, Cam. Why did I point that way? Cam, this way, wherever he is. No one knows where he is. We'll figure it out. We'll find him. We'll www.findamazingcam.com. Anyway,
don't type that in. That might take some sketchy websites.
I just thought of that. Don't come after me, folks.
You just get an find amazing cam search. Hey there, are you masturbating by yourself? Wait a minute, this isn't what I wanted.
It's the site that Tarantino visits.
Yep. You just have a singular emu just sitting back, licking its lips. It's like okay.
Emu.
The internet's been listening.
Oh my gosh, my mistake there, folks. That sounded a lot funnier in my head. Anyway, we will be discussing Clone Wars Season 1 episodes. I believe it's a 2-episode arc. I believe it's 9 and 10. Yes, 9 and 10. Of course, I'll be back here next week discussing the Emu War 2.
No!
No, obviously I don't know what we're discussing.
We will figure it out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, please do not type in that website, please. Please, I can't. I would need to hire Tyler Perry. He's my lawyer. So.
Tyler Perry just sits down. He's like, hello. How about you, Justin? Any shameless plugs that you want people to be aware of?
Not really.
All right.
Yeah.
No
excited for
problem at all.
Superman.
Except, yeah. Well, we
You're
might
gonna leak his location in the chat so you can see Superman with him.
The doc.
we're just gonna dox Justin. It's like oh well, all 50 of my subscribers just show up to your door. It's like one of us. Gooble gobble.
Oh. And then you have Fanboy Flakes describing this plot of like, and then Justin just gets attacked by dogs, gets up, walks up to these people and goes, oh well. Steven Seagal, that's our next movie. Anything Steven Seagal related.
Yeah. You know what? Does Steven Seagal have any movies on Tubi?
His whole filmography is on Tubi.
Really?
Nah, I'm just assuming. I can look it up. Someone said that Steven Seagal now looks like the guy in the GoldenEye video game that you shoot on, like, I think it's a pause.
Oh, God.
I've never played the game, but...
Okay. Well, okay. How about this? If we're able to, of course, obviously I don't want anybody having to spend money to rent any movies or anything like that.
Belly of the Beast. There we go.
Okay. So, well, if we can find the absolutely lowest rated Steven Seagal movie
on Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb?
Either IMDb, I would say.
All right, I'm on it.
Can you let me know? I have to go now.
Yeah, for sure. We'll go ahead and sign off. Andrew, I'll get with you on that here in just a minute.
All right.
Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us, and thank you for everybody who engaged with us in the chat. Have a wonderful night. We will see you next week.
Don't go to that website.
Don't go to that website.